by the organizers of GETI to talk about Roman Catholic perspectives on mission. And this is what I'm going to do. But I want to make two remarks before I start. And the first remark is, I'm going to be talking about the thinking about mission from a Roman Catholic perspective, and I'm going to be talking about the practice of mission. Now, sometimes the thinking, or let's say the practice, doesn't always follow the thinking. You know, and sometimes the thinking does come out of the practice, but I think that's an important thing. The second thing is that I think it's important to say that what I'm going to say about Roman Catholic mission is not unique to Roman Catholicism by any means, but it's something that is constitutive of Roman Catholic perspectives on mission. So I'm going to offer you 7 perspectives, and I'm going to do this as quickly as I can. The first one is, and this is probably more in Catholic thinking or Catholic missiology, is that Catholic mission, Catholic thinking on mission is thoroughly ecumenical. This past summer, a book was published that I spent about 3 years editing. It's called A Century of Catholic Mission. It was published by Rainham Books out of Oxford, the Oxford Center for Mission Studies. And we have like 24 Catholics and actually 1 Presbyterian. It's a long story why we have the 1 Presbyterian. But we have all Catholic scholars basically trying to talk about the history and thinking about mission. But it's interesting, as they talked about Catholic mission, they're quoting David Bosch. You know, they're quoting Mercy Ambo Odioye. They're quoting Dana Robert, etc., etc. So, you know, particularly the stuff that's fueling our understanding of mission is really thoroughly ecumenical. And I would say then Catholic mission is Catholic with a small c. You know, it really goes anywhere it can go to get wisdom. And that's I think really important, because it's really done in dialogue with our brothers and sisters, whether ecumenicals, evangelicals. Evangelical missiology has influenced my own thinking very much. So the first thing is that particularly Catholic thinking is ecumenical. Secondly, Catholics draw on the riches of what we call the Magisterium, the official teaching office of the church. Naturally, we're deeply rooted in Scripture and in tradition, particularly the patristic tradition, but we have this amazing treasury of official documents that go back to actually in the 20th century, 1919. And between 1919 and 1962, when the Second Vatican Council started, there were 5 major papal encyclicals calling for respect for culture, calling for development, and all these kinds of things. But of course, then Vatican II comes along, and I'm going to talk about Vatican II in my next point. But afterwards, we have all sorts of documents of synods of area churches. And then the Pope would write what he calls an apostolic exhortation. The church in Asia, the church in America, the church in Africa. And so it's a huge library of things. And then also our various bishops' conferences, the Federation of Asian Bishops' Conferences, the CELAM in Latin America, several conferences of bishops in Africa. These are things that really fuel and really challenge and really inspire Catholics who are working in mission. One of the last of these, CELAM, was held in Brazil, in Aparecida, a shrine of Mary in Brazil. And the author of the final document was a man by the name of Jorge Maria Bergoglio, who has since become Francis I. And so you see, we have a great tradition of this. But let me go back thirdly then to Vatican II. You cannot underestimate the role of the Second Vatican Council in all of Catholic thinking. It's probably the most important event for mission, probably the most important religious event, certainly in the Catholic Church in the last 100 years. But it's not just the document on mission, but other documents. I like to say Vatican II was a thoroughly missionary council. Ad Gentes, the mission document of Vatican II, has in paragraph 2 this wonderful line that the Church is missionary by its very nature because it participates in the love of God who sent the Son and sent the Spirit. That document, other documents as well, emphasize the importance of culture and knowing the culture and being able to communicate the gospel in ways that really challenge and really inspire people who have not heard the gospel before. The document on non-Christian religions talk about how in every religion there is a ray of the truth that Christ came to bring in fullness. And it emphasizes in its understanding of the laity and the understanding of the church as the people of God that all Christians are missionaries. So this is a major aspect of the Catholic understanding of mission. Fourthly, Roman Catholic mission and thinking about mission takes the world seriously. Historical, social, and cultural contexts are understood as sources that reveal God's action and love. The world is sacramental. The world is shot through with the presence of God. Sinful, yes, but also holy in its deepest reality. Mission, from the Catholic perspective, is never about the destruction of the human and the worldly, but it's always about its fulfillment and about its healing. This has always been the case, and if you look at the history of mission, you can see examples of this from Paul, through the Middle Ages, through the evangelization of the Slavic countries, Matteo Ricci in China. It's not always been the case, and certainly Catholics are guilty of a lot of destruction of culture and a lot of mistakes. There's no question about it. But that red thread has certainly been there, and it's certainly picked up in today's understanding of mission. The document on mission from Vatican II has this wonderful line in paragraph 11, where it talks about how missionaries must enter into a sincere and patient dialogue with the cultures in which they work, so as to discover the riches that a generous God has placed in these cultures. And so Catholicism, fourthly, takes the world seriously. Fifthly, mission can never be reduced to one aspect or the other. As Pope John Paul II said in his mission encyclical in 1990, mission is a single and yet complex reality. And so the way that Roger Schrader and I in our works have expressed the various components, which are all constitutive of Catholic mission, without which mission could not happen, are six. We talk about witness involves witness and proclamation. It involves liturgy, prayer, and contemplation. It involves commitment to justice, peace, and the integrity of creation. It involves entering into interreligious and secular dialogue. It involves inculturation, and finally, the work of reconciliation. Sixthly, mission is Trinitarian from a Catholic perspective. Mission is not the church's. Mission is entrusted to the church. The church is called to participate in the work of the Trinity, the redeeming presence of the Trinity in the world. Mission is not something that the church somehow possesses. Magisterial documents say, as I say, that mission is first and foremost a participation of Christians in the mission of the triune God. This is why why the church is missionary by its very nature. And we say the church doesn't have a mission. The mission of God has a church. The church is what, the mission is what calls the church into being. We are only the church because of God's mission. So to be a Christian is to be in mission. Seventhly, and this is something that Roger Schrader in our writings proposed, and that is Catholic mission is always done in prophetic dialogue. The two things have to work. First and foremost, we do mission in dialogue. We're open to the people. We take off our shoes because God is present there before the missionaries arrive. But we come with a message. And we come with a passion for justice. And so we're prophetic as well. We're dialogical and prophetic. And every context, every situation in which we go demands that we discern which combination of prophecy and dialogue we need to use. Just in conclusion, what might the future hold for Roman Catholic mission? I am so proud and so excited about our new Pope, Pope Francis. We're amazed, Catholics are amazed at the Pope's missionary outreach to those who are so often excluded. Divorced people, GLBTQ, Muslim prisoners, where he kisses the feet of Muslim prisoners in a Roman prison. He's urged Catholics to the peripheries to be, in the words of the Aparecida document, missionary disciples. He calls for the church to be a church not only for the poor, but to be a poor church itself. I think Catholics see in Francis a new missionary presence of authenticity and humanness and friendliness. That picture, I was going to do a PowerPoint, but we didn't have time and it's awkward and all that stuff, but there's a picture, this wonderful picture of Francis kissing the feet of a prisoner.